Hi guys! So today is day 17 of 28 Days Life, Saturday. Hopefully you guys have been doing all kinds of fun stuff today, this weekend. I'm trying to figure out where my weekend has gone. It's went by pretty quickly, so I hope you're all enjoying your weekend as mine went by pretty quickly. So today I'm just doing a quick and easy, just little craft. I went and got a wood letter. It was unpainted. I just did a quick coat of some paint on it. I just used Key West. I really like that color. So I used that and did a quick coat so that way we wouldn't have to wait for it to dry. Hey Trisha! So Trisha's on with us right now. It's out of the way. I am thinking about doing some gold stripes on this and then doing a black outline. I'm going to use some masking tape just to kind of help keep the lines straight. So that's why I went ahead and painted it first, so that way it would have a chance to dry and then the paint wouldn't stick to the masking tape. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to put some tape on here. We're going to just do some lines so that way when I go to put the gold paint on, it's straight. And I am going to do a border in black, so I'm not really concerned about making this top one a little bit wider than the rest of them. Right. If you're just joining, make sure you're letting me know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, just let me know. I can see the comments, so I will respond. Just doing stripes right now, and then I'm going to do some gold paint in between the blue. So I'm just going to firmly put this on here and make sure it's sealed, because sometimes if you don't make sure the lines are all the way firmly pressed against it, the paint will seep under and then your lines aren't very crisp. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just going across doing the lines. And then I'm not going to worry about this right here because I am going to do the outline in black, so I'm just going to work on this side over here. If you're just joining, make sure you let me know where you're watching from. I do find it interesting where you guys are coming from. We do get a lot of Indiana people, but I've noticed we've been getting a lot of Texas people as well. Right. So I'm just going through and just making sure it's all sealed, so that way when I do the gold paint, it's not seeping anywhere that I don't want it to. Alrighty. And then I'm going to use this little piece that I had over here, and I'm just going to try to line it up with the other side. And I'm not so much worried about the sides because, again, I'm going to do the outline in black and I'm going to go around the edges in the black too. So last one. But I do want to make sure that the paint sticks on there. If you're hearing some background noise, I'm sorry about that. My son's outside playing with his cars. So you're hearing his cars right now. But yes, so I have it all taped off. Before I did go live, I did, I'm sorry, I did paint it with a little bit of the Apple Barrel Key West. I really like this color, just so that way it would have a good chance to dry. And I am going to go over it with a little bit of metallic, in between a metallic gold. So I'm just going to go across and cover it. It might take a couple of coats, just because it is a pretty thin paint, but after a few coats it does get really bold, and I really like this color. It just does take a couple coats if you're not putting it on thick. And I'm just using a cheap sponge brush. You can get them from the Dollar Tree. I think I got this one from Walmart. I think it came in a pack of 20 for just a couple bucks. That's what I would recommend if you're doing stripes, just so that way you're not getting a whole lot more paint than what you really need. So I'm just doing a coat of this, and then we'll kind of see how the top's doing, if it needs another coat already or if it should put paint on there. Should wait a few minutes. Right. If you are just joining, because I see a few people are watching, definitely let me know where you're watching from. I will be able to see the comments, so. Right. I think it's pretty dry since we did do such a thin coat that we can actually go ahead and start doing a second coat on this gold. If you can see it, it's a lot brighter. It looks a lot prettier. Right. I used this gold on some of the Christmas hangers that we did, just as like decorations. I don't know if you've seen it, but the Nutcracker hanger that I did, he has some gold embellishments that I did, so I really like this metallic paint that I got. I did use that for him. And do this one down here. So the paint doesn't really want to stick to this area right here. I'm not really sure why. I'm just gonna maybe have to do another coat. There we go. Okay. So yes, this paint's really pretty. It just does sometimes take a few coats. And then we'll let this fully dry before we take off the paint. I'm sorry, not the paint, but the tape. There we go. Let's see. So I'll hold it up for you guys so you can see it a little bit better in the light. It's the blue color that's showing on the side, and then the really bright gold. It'll show better once I take off the tape. But I did just do that coat of blue paint before I went live, just so that way it would be dry. I used a foam brush for that one as well, just so it went on thin. It didn't need to be too dark or too many coats, because that covers pretty well. And this tape is Scotch masking tape, but really you can get it any masking tape. I know a lot of people like to use the painting ones, the frog tape and the other ones like that, just because they are better at keeping the lines straight. The paint tends to not want to seep underneath as much, but this works pretty well as long as you're making sure that you're pressing down the lines and that the paint's not going to get underneath it. So I'm going to go ahead and start seeing if I can take off some of this. Back over here. So and I do want to be careful that I'm not getting any of the gold in the blue area. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Did get a little bit of gold right there, but that's okay. It's actually really pretty. I'm actually really happy with that. Just going to peel off more. End piece, and then just this last bottom piece right here. All right. Logan, I'm busy. So here we go. So this is how, there's just a little extra paint up there. So I can get off. So this is how it looks. Oh, the light's bright. This is how it looks once the paint is done. There's a little bit of black right here. I'm sorry, gold right here. I'm going to wipe that off here in a minute. And then once the gold dries, I'm going to do a black border. Just covering up a few spots, touching up. So that's how it looks so far. And then we'll do a black outline with it. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put this. I thought about putting it on my shelf in the living room, but I might just make another wreath with it later on. Not really sure. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I do really like it though. I like the stripes. What else? Tomorrow I'm going to go live and I'm going to be painting the March virtual paint party hanger. We have a few people that's going to be joining tomorrow. I believe I'm going around noon, 1 o'clock. So I did talk to them today, and they're going to try to do it around that time, which is perfect for me because I work tomorrow night, so the earlier the better for me. But if you're interested in seeing what the paint party is all about, definitely join in tomorrow and check it out. It's a lot of fun. We're doing St. Patrick's Day themed, so it is a hat, a leprechaun hat. So they do have the supplies for that. They have the paintbrushes, they have the paint, and they are going to be painting with us. If you're interested in doing the paint party, we do have the Easter ones out right now for the March paint party. I think I said March earlier. I meant February. We're doing the February paint party tomorrow. March is still on sale. We have a chick, and then we also an Easter chick, and then we also have a cross. It does come with a full kit, so you do get the paint. You get the paintbrushes, you get a stencil with the wording, so you don't have to worry about being great with lettering. Of course, if you're comfortable with it, you could always just do your own lettering. We also give you a, I trace out the design on it, so that way you kind of know what it looks like, and you have a video. You'll have a video to watch. So that way you know exactly what you're doing. And of course, if you have any questions, we're always here. There's always somebody watching, Trisha or myself watching Facebook, so if you ever have any questions, you'll get a quick answer within the hour usually. Typically it's right away, but if we're busy or I'm asleep or something like that, it doesn't take too long to get an answer. So this is pretty dry already. Let me get a paintbrush. I used a pasta box to put on my paintbrushes so they'd stand up. And then I'm just using Apple Barrel black paint. Nothing too fancy, and we're just going to do the border in black paint. Alright. Not sure if I'm going to like this brush. We'll try. Okay. So I'm going to start at the top since this is going to be the most dry. And I am going to do a healthy border. I don't want it to be too thin. So just going around and doing this border. I'll probably do some highlights with white after I'm done. And I am going to try to just do the sides at the same time, just so that way by the time this is dried, I'm over here and I'm not having to wait again for this side to dry. So. There we go. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm sorry, I thought you guys could see me. Here we go. So I'm just going around and I'm doing a black outline. I'm going to clean it up a little bit right here. And then I'm going to highlight later with a little bit of white. So I'm just going to go all the way around. You can't really see it because the table is black. Here, let me hold it up a little bit. So I'm just doing a black outline, and then I'm going to do some white highlights around that. So I'm going to go all the way around the letter, and I'm going to do the black. And I just did that. Hold on 1 second. I can clean it off. Then we'll use the brush over here and we'll try to clean that up a little bit. So the brush fell out of my hand as I was painting. That's okay though. So we'll probably just do 2 coats right there. I'll do another coat of the blue. So mistakes happen, but they're usually pretty easy to fix. So if you do make a mistake, don't think that you have to trash the whole project or start all over. You don't. Sometimes it does just take a little bit of patience to get it fixed, but it is usually fixable. So back to the border. Right. So I have been watching the Winter Games a lot the last few days, the Olympics. I watched curling yesterday and I felt like a little bit of an idiot because it took me so long to figure out like the point of the game. So I did look it up online and then I was like, I thought it was so much more difficult than this. But it was actually really interesting. It was more strategic than it was athletic. I'm sure it takes a lot of athletic strength to do it too, but from what I noticed, it looks like something that somebody that's not so athletic could still participate in. But today we were watching, what was that? We were watching the skiing one where they were like having to run uphill on their skis. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was the women's event and they looked exhausted. I felt so bad. I was like, that has to be just so hard. I couldn't imagine. Some of the ladies, like as soon as they like tagged their, like it was a relay type thing, as soon as they tagged their teammate, they just collapsed on the snow, on the ice, and I was just like, wow, that would not be me. I am not that athletic. But it did look fun, some of the events. Right. So now I'm just going to go back around this way. I think that my son's actually watching the sledding right now. That's what was on when I last checked. So Logan's watching that. He thought it was funny that they were sledding down the ice. He's been wanting to see the snow. We're in South Florida, so it doesn't snow here, and so he likes watching it on TV. At least he gets to look at the snow on TV. So, and you can ask Trisha. She mentioned that it was snowing where she was at, and he was very, very upset. He actually started crying because he wanted to go to Aunt Trisha's house to see the snow, and I felt terrible because we're going out next month, so we'll probably do a few lives next month with Trisha and I together, towards the end of the month, but I'm not sure if it's going to be snowing there. It doesn't always snow in March there, so you can't guarantee it. Like, it does snow sometimes, but it's not like I'm going to pack a snowsuit in anticipation of it snowing. It's just going to be cold. So maybe next year for Christmas we'll go up and he can play in the snow with his cousins. I'm sure he'll love it. Yes, yeah. So he was not happy when he found out that Aunt Trisha was getting snow, and he was not. For a while there, he around Christmas time, he thought that Santa wouldn't come if it wasn't snowing, and so when we figured that out, he's 4. When we figured that that's why he was so concerned about the snow, we sat down and we talked to him. We're like, Santa still comes. It doesn't snow here. And then he was a little better, but he was still disappointed. Right. So I'm running out of places to hold it, and so that's why I'm trying to be a little slower right now, because I don't want to get the black anywhere that it's not supposed to go. And then I'm also going to fill in these areas. I might make a wreath with this. I'm not really sure what kind I'll do. I really like the grapevine, just because it's easier for me to stick some stuff onto a grapevine than it is for me to try to do the mesh or the burlap. I'm not really good with that, but I might, I don't know, I might do some kind of wreath with it. So I'm just filling these in, and then I will do this side, and then I'll let it completely dry before I do any of the white highlights. I think that'll help, because right now it just kind of looks a little boring, and the white highlights will kind of bring out the black border, and not make it look as plain, because it does look a little plain right now. But I do like the way the blue and the gold went together. Alright, so there we have the letter C. You really can't see all of it because, again, it's black table. Probably see a little bit better when I switch to just this one. There we go. So it looks a lot better on this view, and then I'm just going to go, once it dries a little bit more, and I'm going to do some like random white highlights on the black part, and it's going to look cute. But yes, so this whole thing has taken me about 30 minutes, and that's because I've been taking my time because of the black. Because black's a little harder to clean up than other colors. Right. Let's see. So, yeah, I was mentioning earlier that I have no idea where my weekend went. I am off on Fridays and Saturdays, So I spent yesterday trying to catch up on sleep. It didn't really work my way, but I tried. And then today I had a few errands to run, and just time went away. I don't know what I did today, but the day went by so quickly. And then of course tomorrow we have the paint party, and then I have to work later, so it's my weekend's just kind of blurred past. But if you are just joining, this is what we did. It is a blue paint with some gold on it, and then a black border that wraps around the edges, just because I'm not fully sure what we're going to do with this. And then let me see if this black's dried. So the black is pretty dry. I'm going to let it dry just a little bit more, but I'm going to get the the white out and start that. You may notice if you try this at home that the black, the gold kind of sees through some of the black if you didn't do a thick enough coat. So I'm just checking to make sure I'm not seeing any gold through it. White paint. So you don't have to use a whole lot just because we're not painting the whole thing with white. I am just going to do a border with it. So let me get a good brush. So just a good amount of white. I think I'm going to start right here. And I'm not really doing any special. Just kind of giving a little bit of texture. Oh, right. And then the paint went thinner than I wanted it to here, so just going to touch this up a little bit, and then I'm going to say that this is done. Alright, so there we go. I promise it looks so much better. You really can't see a whole lot of it because the table's black. Oh, there we go. So this is what it looks like. I'm holding it this way because I'm not sure if it's glaring on your end. It was on mine. So this is how it looks. We used masking tape to do the lines just so they were straight, and it was a little easier. You can do it without masking tape. It was just a whole lot easier. And then I used white just to kind of bring some life into those black borders. But that's it. For this, it didn't take a whole lot. I am going to touch up the white a little bit once it dries, just to kind of make it a little more bold, and then it'll be done. Not completely sure what I'll do with it, but I will post a picture as soon as I get that 100% touched up. I think I can do a lot of it right now. Hold on. There we go. So this part is just kind of thin, just because the paint was still a little damp underneath the white, so the black was a little damp. So I did just want to touch it up a little bit. And then up here, you can see the white's kind of striping. So you're seeing a little bit of the black. And that's just because the black wasn't all the way dry underneath. But it's super easy to do. Just a little bit of patience. And that's all. I bought the letter at Walmart. I know that they haven't met my goals at Hobby Lobby, but I was already there getting groceries today. And I was walking down the aisle and trying to figure out what I was going to do live with you guys today because I didn't want to bore you. Just getting out here and talking. So I did find this, and I was like, okay, we'll paint that today. Tomorrow we'll do the door hanger. I was supposed to do it today, but it did get postponed until tomorrow. So we'll go around noon, 1 o'clock, and do that. But that should be fun. But here it is. All done. I'll take pictures on my dining room table. It's butcher block, so you'll see the colors so much better than what you see it here. I don't have the best lighting, but it looks so much better than what I thought I was going to, so I'm happy. But that is it. Thank you guys for watching today. I am going to get off of here and try to do some work. If you have any questions or you're watching later on, let us know where you watched from. You can always message us or email us. We're really good at responding to those. Have a great night.